I need to hear more about the story. What specifically? What way was the black man, walking? Was he walking towards the neighbor's house aggressively? Was he wearing, baggy clothes? It's pretty dark in some areas. Some areas don't have street lights. Maybe the moon wasn't out. Maybe the sunlight wasn't refracting off of Venus, through some swamp gas in New Orleans, bouncing off the moon and, back onto that area in the street. It's very dark.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
We need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country.
And this video has been brought to you by racism. Racism is accepted wherever true Americans are.
Perfect.
California man has been charged with felony assault, accused of trying to harm a black man renting a nearby Airbnb property as he walked to the grocery store, and what prosecutors are calling an unprovoked attack. Mark Waters, age 66, was charged with felony assault with a semi-automatic firearm, resulting in great bodily injury and personal use of a firearm. Further charges may come as law enforcement is investigating potential hate crime allegations. The 21-year-old victim had left an Airbnb rental to walk to a nearby grocery store on the night of the incident. He was unarmed. When he crossed the street, he saw Waters exit his home and quickly approach him while holding a weapon. The victim tried to run to safety, but prosecutors alleged that Waters, whom they described as Caucasian, fired a single gunshot as his back was turned. As a result, the victim suffered serious injuries to his leg. Police rendered first aid to the victim. Video of the incident was also obtained from a nearby neighbor. Waters' home was searched and multiple firearms were seized. He was arrested and booked into St. Clara County Jail and will be arraigned Monday in San Jose. District Attorney Jeff Rosen condemned the shooting, stating that everyone should be safe walking to the store. Quote, "We will not tolerate such senseless and violent acts in this country. We will wish the victim a speedy recovery and will make sure he receives justice for this brutal incident." So, as you were able to hear, yes, they are pursuing or looking into hate crime charges because that's exactly what this is. You're going to have a lot of people online that are going to say, "Oh, this has nothing to do with race. This was just a bad apple. This was just, a bad person that decided to do a thing and go after a person. Why does it always have to be about race? Why can't it just be a person and just did a bad thing? Because that's really what it is. Because me myself, I don't really see color." You're going to have a lot of people say that same nonsense over and over again because that's their comfort, that's their blanket. They want to feel that just because they feel or deem themselves not of that way or that lifestyle or that way of thinking, that also makes a broad brush for everybody else that is in a sense around them, when realistically, logically, factually, we all know that's not how that works. As you were clearly able to hear, you have a black man that was minding his own business, used his hard-earned money, he pays taxes, pulled himself up by his bootstraps, living the American way, the American dream, not portraying himself as a victim or anything like that, didn't even call race or racist anywhere, but yet this is what, in a sense, happened to him. He decided that he wanted to take a vacation or whatever he was doing, mind his own business. Like, hey, well, I'm renting here. I need some food. Instead of ordering out, let me just walk to the market real quick, grab a few things just so I can chef something up, in the house and, just go about, my night or my day. And you had the neighbor, you know, decide to come out, and it was like, "Oh, this looking real suspicious. I'm going to catch him as soon as he comes directly out of that house." And he proceeded to wait, and he called him outside of the house, confronted him, and then decided to brandish the weapon that he had on him, and then he fired, aiming directly at the black man, harming him directly in the leg. Now, like I said before, I don't know what else to, specifically tell people. You could say that, racism and all this other type of stuff does not exist. It does. It does. Just because you don't see it, just because you're not a part of it, just because you don't contribute to it, doesn't mean that it just doesn't exist because you're unaware of it. That's not how it works. Just because you sweep something under the rug doesn't mean underneath that rug still ain't dirty. No, the dirt is still there. You just decided to hide it and put it out of sight, out of mind. And that's the problem with America. America does not want to have this conversation because America makes itself seem as though out of all of the nations all over the world, we're the only nation that just doesn't focus on race. How is that possible when America has been built on race? It's woven within the fabric. Even the name itself, American, is built off of the indigenous people. But yet you have other people that decided to co-opt and steal it and claim it as their own. Like I said, go back and do some information. If you look up the terminology American, it originally states it is for the indigenous people and or the coppered color peoples that were on this land. That's who the name American is directly for. Anybody that is non-melanated, that is not copper complected, the name does not and it should not apply to you. But yet here we are. But yet here we are. So, like I said before, um, I don't know what else to realistically tell people. I don't. People, they're going to believe whatever it is that they want to believe. They want to pass whatever narrative that they want to pass. They want to act as though anything like this that takes place, black people automatically brought it directly on themselves because of the way that they talk, walk, act, dress, their hairstyles, the way that they look and move and dance, like anything that is in a sense a part of black culture. People will say the reason that those things have transpired is due to those things that you are a part of, things that are a part of your custom, that are a part of your culture, who you are. Like I said, it's just crazy. I'm very happy that the brother is okay. I'm happy that he is completely fine and dandy. And again, this is why, I tell black people you got to be very careful when it is that you decide that you want a vacation and go to a variety of places. Do research on your areas because you never know where you are and who you are around. You don't know who any of these individuals are. There are a great deal of people that, if given a chance, they mean you great bodily harm. And you are able to hear that specifically in the story by way of a black man that was doing nothing wrong, minding his business, walking to the grocery store, and then the neighbor decides to come out, confront him, and then try to take his life. Proof of that is also captured by way of a neighbor's camera that they had hooked up to their house. So all the evidence is directly there. So anybody that want to sit in the back, like, oh, I need to hear more about the story. What specifically? What way was the black man, walking? Was he walking towards the neighbor's house aggressively? Was he wearing, baggy clothes? It's pretty dark in some areas. Some areas don't have street lights. Maybe the moon wasn't out. Maybe the sunlight wasn't refracting off of Venus, through some swamp gas in New Orleans, bouncing off the moon and, back onto that area in the street. It's very dark, so maybe the neighbor thought it was pretty suspicious. Maybe his neighborhood watched, he was watching out for his other neighbors and maybe the women that walk their dogs, at night. And, he just thought it was very odd that this guy, for no reason, who he knows, does not live in the area, decided that he wanted to sit up there and walk around at this time of night. Maybe he just wanted to ask him, a couple of questions to see, if he was new to neighbor and, he was really trying to introduce himself. And the guy got really aggressive with the guy. And, and the neighbor had, no other choice but to brandish his firearm. And, he got scared and, hit him in the leg instead of a warning shot. If you look at it that way, race has nothing to do with it. It's just a guy, acting aggressive, at night. Like I said, you'll hear a lot of excuses, a lot of excuses. But this is America.